Good afternoon. It is almost 20 after 2 on Thursday. According to my car, it is a beautiful 17 degrees Celsius. Much warmer than the other day when I said it was 17, let me tell you. The sunshine makes all the difference. And the fact that there's no there's no heavy wind or anything. So, anybody watching, how you doing? How's your week been? We're almost through it. And here in Canada, we are having May 2-4 weekend this weekend. Victoria Day long weekend. Awesome. We love that. Thank you, Vicky. Oh, dear. So this morning, backtrack. Last night, I get a text from my boyfriend. He was going to meet with, I don't know what you call them, the guys that draw up like the plan for your house and whatever when you're having a house built. And I said, oh, exciting. I love to hear about this. I'm fascinated. I've never been in a situation where I could build a house before. Cool. I'll live vicariously, no problem. So I said, oh, no. Now, I thought they'd already finalized everything, but I guess this is the meeting, like, to finalize everything. I know he'd had an issue with the back porch. They did like a wooden covered porch thing. He doesn't want that. He wants like a cement patio or whatever. So I guess they went and fixed that, so we had to go and kind of give the final okay on that and everything else, right? So I said, cool, let me know when you're done. I'd like to hear all about it, right? Because with all the other BS that the poor boy's got going on, like this is a happy thing. This is a yay thing. Let's do this. Let's get back into a house. Because if you don't know, he had a house fire it was like a month or two tops after he bought this house that there was a house fire. It was all found to not be his fault or anything, but the house was literally burned to the ground. Like there was absolutely nothing left of this house. So, yeah, there's that. So he's been paying for a house that no longer exists. But I guess that's what you have to do. I don't know. I've never been in that situation. I don't ever want to be in that situation. I feel so bad for him. But this is sort of a happy that's coming out of it, right? Now he gets to do what he wants and he'll have he'll be super happy. So, as happy as he can be. I mean, one of the top reasons why we get along so well is because we're both absolutely dead inside. So, there's that. But anyway. So when he was getting ready to go to this meeting or whatever, he was like, oh, well, he said, I might swing by after. And I'm like, well, you're always welcome, but, you got to work tomorrow. I don't have to work tomorrow. Like I told him, I'm off on Thursday. I take my car in for service. So, I mean, do you? Because obviously he was going to stay the night, but it's like, now you have to drive a half an hour to get to work as opposed to, 10 minutes up the road. So, do you? You're more than welcome. So he did. He came by last night. And we chit-chatted for a little bit. He was telling me about the house and whatever. And I guess what they've okayed and everything for the building plan and whatever, he's like way under budget. So I was like, oh, well, that's cool. Like you can use your leftovers to get, your house goodies, your, the things that you need, pots, pans, television, because you have to remember, he lost everything that he owns in the fire. Couches, everything, absolutely everything. And he said, no, it doesn't work that way. It goes toward the house. So he's like, he can upgrade materials and whatever, and, you know, get these wicked awesome countertops, and, you know, like a quartz countertop as opposed to what I'm getting, you know, the board with the linoleum or whatever the fuck on top of it. Like, it's like, whatever, do you? It's fine. I mean, he's got the money, so go for it, I guess. I was like, well, but like, can you use this money toward like landscaping? Because that would be awesome. And he was like, yeah, I think so. And I said, well, I would look into that. I mean, if you have the house the way that you want it, with the materials that you want, like, and all that kind of good stuff, I would totally do landscaping. I know he wants the privacy. Now, the house, the original house, was surrounded by cornfield on the sides and in the back. So in the summertime, yeah, and I mean, it's in buckfuck nowhere, so I mean, it doesn't get much more private than that. But in the summertime, you know, it's surrounded by all this corn, so even more privacy. But I said, you would probably like to put like trees around, you know, kind of outlining the cornfield or whatever, so that one, you're not looking at corn, and two, then you have the same privacy that you have in the summertime with the corn all year round with trees or bushes or whatever, right? So I think he's going to look into that. I am so excited for him. Like, nobody deserves this more than he does, honestly. And I know I'm biased, but I'm just saying, the kid deserves it. He works so hard. And I mean, he's got the luck of the Irish, man. If it can go wrong, it will. Like, that's just it. Like, I've had some shit luck and some horrible things happen and whatever in life, but I mean, this guy, it takes the cake. Puts my bad luck to shame. Makes me feel really good about my luck, okay? So that was all nice to hear. And then this morning I got up and I had a text from Monkey, who's been at his dad's since after school on Monday, concerned about a situation with a friend of his. Now, bearing in mind, these kids, these teenagers, are 13 years old, okay? And he's been talking to me off and on about this friend for probably about a year and a half, maybe. And it's just so sad. It's just so sad to hear of somebody so young going through such, I don't want to say mental health problems, because I truly don't know the context of what's going on. So I'm just hearing tidbits from Monkey. So, but I mean, it's a lot. And I feel so bad for this kid. I mean, I've met the kid once. Seems super nice. Very respectful. Very sweet. But definitely guarded. I mean, you can see it. But he texted me. It had to have been at like 5:30 in the morning. And of course, my phone goes on sleep mode, so I don't get a notification until I check my phone when sleep mode goes off. So I check my phone as soon as I wake up in the morning. So, especially when one of my kids isn't home. So I checked, and there's this screenshot. Like the message that Monkey sent me was to the effect of like, I don't know what to do about this. Like, help me, guide me. What do I do? Right? Because again, 13, right? Not a whole lot of life experience. So I'm reading through this screenshot, and it was of the conversation that it was all one-sided because of course Monkey was sleeping. But this friend of his, like, begging him for help and to talk to him and to, you know, it was just, and there seemed to be a video, but it was a screenshot, so I couldn't click this video or anything. Like, I don't know what any of that was about, but I mean, it was just heartbreaking reading this screenshot of this one-sided conversation. It was a one-sided plea. Like, it was just heartbreaking. And the kid was saying, you know, I'm going to delete all this in the morning so my parents don't see, and la, 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 la. And I was like, oh. Like, this kind of stuff is hard for adults to deal with. Like, I have friends that struggle, and, like, with true clinical problems. And I mean, I'm 46. It's not my first rodeo to sit down and have a heavy conversation with somebody, mental health related, or just like really heavy life shit. Like, you know, but even as a 46-year-old adult who's also been through some shit, it is very difficult. It's a difficult dance to, you know, help somebody through that kind of mindset. Never mind being 13 and right? So I texted him back immediately and just said, look, Monkey, in my experience, the best thing you can do is just listen. Just listen. Don't say nothing unless asked. You know, you don't have the experience to give an opinion. Like, and if you are asked to retort, I feel like the best thing you can say is, you know, I care about you. You're a good friend. I want nothing but the best for you, and you know, other than that, I mean, now I said because I have to say, reading this one-sided plea, there did seem to be some alluding to some possible harm and just some really heavy thoughts, and my heart just broke. And I said, you know, if while you're talking, because he said, you know, after school, I think, he says, I have some money. I think after school we're going to go and get some ice cream and talk. And I was like, yes, do that. Like, 100%. I said, but, and he was specifically told not to tell anybody, right? I said, well, I'm going to tell you, if they say flat out that they want to hurt themselves, or that there's a plan, especially if there's a plan, or if you get the feeling that, you know, like if your spider senses start tingling, you need to go to an adult. Like, 100% you need to go to an adult. Like, it's not tattling, it's not ratting, you're not betraying any confidence in that situation. Like, such deep stuff for such young people. It just broke my heart. And my heart broke for Monkey. Like, he is so sweet and so sensitive and so caring. You know, I mean, I know it's tearing him up, and I know that he's confused, and I know he's probably scared. Like, So that was intense this morning. And I've been thinking about both of them all day. But I had to kind of shake that off and start getting ready because I had to take my car in for service this morning. So my buddy called me, I don't know, shortly after 9, I guess. And he couldn't remember if he was picking me up at 9 or 9:30. And I was like, no, 9:30. My appointment's at 10, so 9:30 is fine. I just needed him to follow me up so that I could drop my car off and we could piss off and go get coffee or something. Like, it was only going to take, I don't know, like an hour or so, 45 minutes, but I wasn't sitting around the dealership for an hour. Screw that. Screw that. So we went up to the dealership and I dropped my car off and found out for sure, because I couldn't remember if it was just like an oil change and, you know, topping up the fluids and all that kind of shit, or if there was more that needed to happen. But when I got there, they said, no, it's just an oil change. And I was like, you're good. It's fine. So I was like, cool. It'll only be about, 45 minutes or so. I was like, awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to go. Here's my car. I'm going to go. And be anywhere other than here. So we took off and went and grabbed coffee and went down to the big park, where the beach is. And we sat there. And I was telling him about this thing with Monkey, and, I felt bad for him and for the friend, and, it was a lot. We were talking about other things, and we were looking for ships. There's these great big ships that go up and down through there. And we both enjoy watching them. So we were watching some of those, and just chit-chatting and stuff until I got a text saying my car was ready. So I went and picked up my car, and one thing he had mentioned to me while we were sitting there talking was his hair. He needed a haircut. He's been asking me for a good long while now. And I actually meant to do it. I said, I meant to do it on Sunday because I went over to my coworkers and I cut her boyfriend's hair. But when I came home, I unloaded the car and I sat down for a minute, and that was the end of that shit. I was like, Jen was done. And he laughed. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, we will do it today. We'll pick up my car and I'll go home and I'll grab my stuff and I'll come over, and I'll do it at your place because I don't want all the hair in my house. And it's not warm enough to be doing hair outside right now. So cool. I went home and I grabbed all my stuff and went over to his place and I cut his hair. And I sat down for a minute, and I don't know how we got onto it, but we got onto the topic of Twitter because he has started a Twitter account, and he's not on very often at all. He doesn't post much. Even when he is on, he doesn't post. He just comes on and flips through my shit and occasionally gives likes and comments and whatever. And I mean, whatever. It is what it is. But as he's going through, and he's on a desktop, so he's got this great big, he's got like a TV screen as his computer screen. So he's flipping through flipping through his feed, which doesn't give much because he's not on much. It's all this weird political shit and whatever. But once he starts finding my stuff, then he can also see who's following me, and it out. You know how Twitter is. It's you want to follow or whatever the fuck. And as he was doing that, I was catching up on my Twitter because I hadn't been on Twitter since sometime yesterday. I got busy. So I was catching up on Twitter. So as I'm trying to catch up, it keeps bringing me back to the beginning, because now he's liking stuff and posting, and posting comments and whatnot. And I'm like, dude, dude. So I went onto Facebook and whatever, mucked around a little bit, let Twitter calm down. Calm down. Went back onto Twitter and I posted some stuff, and then I was able to finally catch up. Twitter slowed down. But he was asking me about posting stuff and following people and whatever, and I said, well, follow whoever tickles your fancy. Like, I don't follow any of the news stuff. I could give a shit what's going on in the news. I do not care. I don't follow any political crap. I don't look at it. I don't click it. If it occasionally comes up in my feed, I keep a scrolling. Like, I just completely ignore its existence. I said, but, I interact with people who I find funny, or they put up something that makes me giggle or makes me think or whatever, like lots of art stuff, like, stuff that interests me personally. Because he's all like, oh, I don't know who to follow and blah, blah, blah. How do you find people to follow, whatever? And I said, well, you just jump into conversations. That's how I got going on the Twitter. Like, if I found a post that I found funny or whatever, and I clicked on it, I realized that the whole thread comes up, and I would go through the thread, and if the conversation interested me or tickled me, I jumped into the chat. And I'd put in my 2 cents or a meme or whatever, usually memes. And, from there I started getting likes and whatever, and people would interact with me. And over time, people would follow me as I posted more and more and interacted more. I mean, I found people that I found interesting or funny or whatever, and I would follow them, and I have no expectations on getting a follow back. I will circle back to that. But I follow them because I want to see more of that kind of material, right? So he overthinks is the thing, right? He doesn't want to appear rude. He doesn't want to jump into a chat. And I said, it's not like a one-on-one conversation and number 3 just sort of jumps in the middle of a conversation. Like, it's not like that. That's kind of the idea, is you just sort of jump in and vomit your opinion everywhere and see if it sticks. It's so funny. It's so funny. He's so awkward about it. It's so cute. I'm like, nah, just jump in, post away. And he's like, well, what should I post? And he's going through his computer files and showing me all these things he's got saved and whatever. And he's got some really funny shit. He's got some really out there stuff too, but I still think it's funny. He kind of look at it and go, ooh. Good one. He's like, well, I don't know what I can post and what I can't. And I'm like, my guy, you post what you think is funny. If you think it's funny, post it. If you think that if it's something that makes you think and you're interested in it, post it. It doesn't matter. Well, people get mad at me. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the internet. I'm surprised you haven't had anybody come on and comment on your page about how your page is dead. Like, I mean, come on now. It doesn't matter. If you like it, if you find it interesting, if you find it funny, if you find it, whatever. If it's your jam, post it. It doesn't matter. There is somebody else out there. There's a lot of somebodies out there it's going to be their jam too. Like, don't even worry about it. And for those that feel like leaving a comment, putting it down, or poo-pooing on your party, ignore it. That's what the mute button's for. I explained to him about the mute button. He was so happy because he was blocking people. I don't block anybody. I don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't block. What would I say? Do you? I believe wholeheartedly in free speech. I don't have to like it. I don't have to agree with it. I don't even have to see it. Mute. Keep doing you. It's all good. And he got really excited because he feels the same way, right? It's like, I'm not going to censor anybody. Say what you got to say. Post what you got to post. I don't care. But I also don't have to see it. So this way you can keep doing you and I can keep doing me and it's all good. So he does that now. But circling to this, you know, following for whatever, there's a guy on my Twitter, and I don't even recognize his handle. Like, most people that go to my Twitter regularly, I'd like and comment and that kind of stuff, I recognize their handles. I recognize their profile pictures. Like, it's good. I know exactly who it is. And if any of them had an issue, I would address it immediately. But this person, bless his soul, her soul, I fucking know, is one of these, like, as soon as this person followed me, okay, I believe it was within the first couple of days of this person following me, and this is like a while back, I got a comment on my Twitter, why haven't you followed me back yet? Aren't you going to follow me back? This kind of stuff, right? And I just kind of rolled my eyes and immediately did not want to follow. Like, because you're that person. You are on Twitter strictly for the likes, views, the clicks, the follows. That's what you're there for, okay? I have no interest in that. I don't respect that. It means nothing to me, okay? Is it nice when you get lots of clicks and likes and views and comments and whatever follows? It's nice, yes. In the grand scheme of things, is it groundbreaking? Is it life-changing? Not in the slightest, okay? So, while I was flipping through the Twitter at my buddy's place, this same guy put not one, but 2 comments in, like, seconds apart, one right after the other. Something to the effect of, you know, you still haven't followed me yet, blah, 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 whatever. And the other one was just a courtesy, it's a courtesy, that if I don't follow him, he will be unfollowing me, and he doesn't, you know, or she, whatever, doesn't want to because they enjoy my content. Well, if you enjoy my content, why would you deprive yourself of it by unfollowing me? Just because I'm not following you? You can't enjoy my content that much. I'm just saying. I don't care one way or the other. Go ahead and unfollow me. It's all good. But if you truly enjoy the content, is that not why you followed me? To see more of said content. Apparently not. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me at all. None whatsoever. And then to announce it. Like, if I have, and I never have, but if I have an issue with somebody that I'm following, it would never be for something as arbitrary as not following me back. I interact with a lot of people on Twitter. I'll interact with anybody on Twitter. I don't care. As long as you interest me or intrigue me in some way, right? Like, that might sound some kind of way. I don't mean it in some kind of way, but facts. You're not going to interact with somebody that doesn't interest you. Okay? I'm in real life or online, okay? In real life, there are situations where you have to do stupid, mindless small talk with strangers. I hate it. I hate it. I suck at it. It's awkward as fuck, okay? But online, I can pick and choose who I'm going to interact with, and I choose to interact with people that interest me. Sometimes they challenge me in a positive way, you know. Sometimes I like to kick a hornet's nest. It has not happened yet on Twitter. Used to do it on YouTube all the time. But, you know, like, come on now. If I have a problem with somebody on Twitter that I follow them for a reason. We're going to work it out. Right? We're going to talk about it before the unfollowing happens. And if I so choose to unfollow somebody, I'm not going to announce it on fucking Twitter. I'm not going to go to their page and tweet at them, I'm unfollowing you. Because that's stupid. Nobody cares. The only people that do care are the ones that are doing it specifically for follows, likes, views, clicks, thinking that they're going to get Twitter famous or some shit. I didn't acknowledge it. I didn't like it. I didn't mute it. I didn't do not. I read it and I kept scrolling. Well, I read it and I showed it to my buddy because I thought it was funny. I still think it's funny. A little sad, to be quite honest. Whatever, man. Bye. Bye. I don't get that mentality. I followed you, so you have to follow me, and I'm getting frustrated with you, and so I'm going to let you know. Not that I'm getting frustrated with you, but that I'm going to unfollow you. Okay. Have a good day, Linda. Have a good day. I'm going to keep doing me on the Twitters. So funny. I love Twitter so much. Oh, goodness gracious. It was a good time. It was a good time. Anywho, I just realized we're at 32 minutes and ain't nobody going to get this far in the video. So I hope somebody sees my Twitter rant. Maybe I'll put it time-stamped somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to boot. I got stuff to do. Monkey's coming home after school today, and I have done nothing around my house. I got dishes everywhere that I got to wash in my damn tub. The counter people called me. It is coming Friday, so yay. Here's to Friday. Hopefully tomorrow I will have my counter installed. Jesus fucking Christ. So anybody watching, thank you. I appreciate you. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk later.